What does it mean to learn? It is a hard question, almost as hard as deciding what your favorite song is in this exact moment. Your opinion of learning can change as you grow older. My definition of the verb to learn is personal knowledge or skill that is enhanced over a period of time by being taught. Okay, so you learn in school. If you were paying attention at least, you should know that studying for English quizzes are essential to scoring a high score on them. And remotely having food in the hallway is an automatic detention. But exactly how do you learn in the midst of all this chaos? What methods have you created enabling you to learn? Recently discovered throughout my travels in the world, I know my unique style of learning. Over time, I have created a method in which my learning can be enhanced, not only by creating my own meaning of the context, but by changing my perspective on what is being taught. While walking upon the uneven passages in the streets of Florence, we stop among many museums and cathedrals. We observe the Dante e il suo poema, a painting that symbolizes a holy and sacred story involving the levels of hell and heaven. My initial perception of the painting involves a man reading to a group of prisoners. Knowing that the painting symbolized a greater and deeper meaning than I could imagine, I used my creative thinking to portray the painting. By comparing what was being taught and what I taught myself, revealed how far and creative my mind could go, in addition to the enjoyment of learning the meaning behind the picture. In spite of touring through a variety of museums, we were given an earplug that connected with our tour guide's microphone that enabled us to listen to what our tour guide had to say about the specific picture we were observing. As we traveled throughout the museum, I would take out the earphone while our tour guide was discussing the painting. As I ventured off into my own imagination, I created my own meaning of the statues and the portraits. In Sinica, we saw a picture of Jesus sitting at a table amongst his disciples. As we passed the front of the painting, it looked as if Jesus was sitting at the side of the table. However, as we continued to walk, I looked back at the picture and Jesus was sitting at the head of the table. It goes to show how changing your perspective can turn around how you interpret the painting. I began to recognize my own uniqueness in the way I learn and view things. I felt much like Lucy Honeychurch, a character in A Room with a View, specifically with Noba Deeker. Without her tour guide, Lucy was able to let her mind roam freely and let her imagination speak, much how I did when I wasn't listening to the tour guide. In the future, when I become a judge, upon deciding whether or not the defendant is guilty or not, the skill of looking at different perspectives will come in handy. The ability to understand everyone's point of view is essential to fulfill the position of a fair judge. As I reflect on the previous scenarios both occurring in the country of Italy, I come to the realization that during one day, I learned a lot about myself through listening. However, on the other day, I learned about how I learned specifically through not listening. Through the methods that I have created enabling me to learn and discovering new things about myself, I predict that I will excel in the future years to come. Italy has made a tremendous change in my life, and I am glad that I was given the opportunity to take a step outside of my comfort zone and look at new perspectives.
Hi.